Welcome back to another edition of Wrenches in Motion, where if it ain't broke, I ain't buying it. And today we're here with the blue CRV, and we are going to fix the idle problem. A little bit ago, I noticed that all of a sudden the idle would drop down to 500 and below. Sometimes it would die at stoplights. So the fix for that is the intermotor AC 275 idle air control valve, which is located back here. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take this off, and then we're going to get in the back and take the idle air control valve off. So let's take a look inside the CRV real quick. We got the scanner here. We'll just turn it on. Actually, you know what? Let's start it. You see it died right away. Now I'm going to go ahead and scan it. I believe what happened last time I scanned it, I got a 1505, and it's going to puke out again. I didn't get that until the check engine light came on. So let's see if we can hurry up and scan this thing real quick. This car was running great, and then all of a sudden it had that idle problem, and I was like, yep, here we go. That part, by the way, $250. Yep, there's our P505 idle air control system. So we're going to go ahead and fix that. So stay tuned. So I tried to get you in here the best I can. It's really just some basic hand tools. First, we're going to need a 10 millimeter. There's 4 bolts we got to take out. I really didn't want to pay $250 for the idle air control valve, but the two I looked at in the junkyard already had this part removed. So obviously this is a problem, and no one wants to pay that kind of money. All right, get that out of the way. Now there's also 2 coolant hoses back here, and I'm trying to remember how I did it last time. I think I got one off from the bottom, and I didn't get one off from the top. So I think I'm just going to take it off and then try to get the hoses off while I've got it loose. These are just a couple 12s. So get these out. No real room for any electric tools to get in here to do this, so it's all manual labor, which is fine. In fact, I don't even have my ratcheting wrench out here, which I should have, but I don't. Now these bolts are 2 different sizes, and I think the bottom one's longer. We're going to find out here in a second. This is the bottom one. This is the top one. Yep, bottom one's longer. Remember that, otherwise you won't be able to put it back together. There's an electrical plug. So we'll do that, get that out of the way. Now, let me try to bring you in here, show you what we got working. I'm grabbing the whole tripod and everything, so bear with me. Okay, here's the control valve. You should be able to see the 2 hoses underneath. Those are the 2 we got to get off and put back on. So set you back here, and I'll be back as soon as I get those hoses off. Okay, I've got the idle air control valve off. What I like to do after I get the hose clamps off, I like to grab the hose and twist it a little bit, because the rubber will grab onto this and makes it really hard to pull off. So if you just give it a little twist, that'll break it loose, and then it'll slide off a whole lot easier. So there's the old one. Here's our nice shiny new one. A nice gasket on there. And what I'm going to do, since I don't have any silicone, I'm going to get some dielectric grease and just grease up the gasket a little bit. And hook the water hoses up, hook the electric back up, and pop it back in. I just remembered I've got something much better than dielectric grease. I've got Shin-Etsu. If you ever worked on a Honda, you should know what Shin-Etsu is. Great for sunroof tracks, for any car. This is like the ultimate grease right here. So we just need a tiny bit. Go around the gasket here real quick. I love this grease. First time I found out about this grease was when I had the Honda Del Sol. Del Sol community is big on Shin-Etsu. Alright, so we pop these water hoses back on. One. I stuck a little bolt inside the one water hose. I don't know if it leaks a whole lot when you do this, but there's definitely some fluid coming out. Okay, those are back on. Grab our nose pliers, put the clamps back on, which are somewhere in here. Definitely don't want coolant leaking all over the place. Oh, I could have twisted. It's way in the back. Okay, clamps are on. Now before I put the electric in, I'm going to go ahead and bolt this thing back in. Remember which one goes on the bottom, longer one. Top hole, you can see, the bottom one not so much, it's all done by feel. Alright, now these don't have to be super tight. I'm just going to be able to find my wrench again. This is really pulling the backs of my quads. All right, so that's in. Take the electric, hook that up. Where'd you go, connector? There it is. I was going to say, it should be right here. Not like I went anywhere with it. Alright, connector's on. Let's throw this back on. If you don't put this on, your idle is going to be screaming. I guess maybe it just allows so much more air in there. Clear all this out. So thanks for coming along with me on the ride. Now let's see what happens. Fingers crossed, because I don't know what's going to happen. Well, it's settled into where it's supposed to be. It's about 11:30 at night. I'm in the airport and go to the parking garage, stick my key in, start the car, and lo and behold, I can't shift it out of gear, out of park. So that being said, I wasn't sure what was causing it, so I tried. Let's see if I can flip this around here real quick. I tried to get this little thing out, and of course with no tools I couldn't get it out, so I ended up ripping the plastic up. And this here's your interlock defeat. You push that down and then you can put it in gear. So come home today, or this morning, I come out and it's doing the same thing, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. You know, maybe it's a shift solenoid is bad, but if you look at the solenoid, when I turn the key on, you see that little click? Okay, so that means the solenoid's getting power. When you step on the brake, that solenoid's supposed to release, and that'll allow you to shift gears. I know it's not the solenoid because obviously we can see it running, or we can see it go back and forth. So that led me to what could possibly be causing it. So what does that is when you step on the brakes, let me get this cardboard down here. Let me see if I can get this up here. Let me see if I find the brake switch. Maybe not. I don't know if I can. Anyway, when you step on it, the brake switch closes, and that'll give you power not only there, but also to your tail lights. So what I did was I did a quick brake light check by taking the four-way, shoving it on the brake pedal, wedging it into the seat. Now that should be turning on my brake lights. And as you can tell, I have no brake lights. So that means the brake light switch is bad. If the brake light switch is bad, it'll never send power up to the solenoid. You'll never be able to shift it out of gear. And that's the situation we have. Of course, Honda doesn't make this easy. Pull the plastics off, pull the metal knee brace off, drop the fuse box out of the way, and I think I'm going to disconnect a bunch of the wires so I could let the fuse box drop down, and then maybe I can get way back in there and get that switch out. So in true fashion, we troubleshot the wrong thing first. If you look back here, oh, look at that, brake lights. Huh, so what was the issue? Well, if you come up here, that 15 amp fuse right there was blown. I just put another fuse in, everything works fine. Let me show you how this works. Now before, we saw the solenoid would click and then click out again. So if you watch the solenoid now, it holds in just like it should, and you can move the gears any way you want. What really got me started looking there was I had the switch out and I tested it, and the switch tested fine. So I'm thinking to myself, well, if the switch tests fine, let's look at the fuses. Sure enough, that's the one. Okay, we've got CRV back together. All the plastic's on there, all nice. Let's see if it's going to work. And if it does work, there we go. That's what we want to see. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. I'm not going to say that that was a fun repair. A whole lot easier than I thought it was going to be. If you liked the video, throw me a like. Go ahead and throw a comment down below if you want to. And I will talk to you next time.